SEGA.
Hey everybody, this is Prince Brightstar, and welcome back to Phantasy Star Online 2. So, I wanted to take a little break from the character that we've been working on here to show you guys a little bit of something that goes on from time to time in the game. What you hear going through the game right now, and what you see going across the screen, is an emergency quest that just went active. Emergency quests are randomized, for the most part, events that can happen in the game that unlock special quests that are only available for a limited time. And so I wanted to take you guys on a little adventure here. With the Wind and the Rain is the name of the quest here. It takes place in the forest area. And we'll actually be playing this on my main character here today. This character is... I've had this character since the beginning of this game. He's a level 60 ranger with a subclass on of Techer. And what a Techer is, it's something similar to a force, but it has skill trees designated for wind, light, and dark. As opposed to forces which use fire, ice, and lightning. Let's go ahead and grab a quick drink here. And as you can see, since I want to get going on this, I'll kind of talk as we go here. Alright, so here we are down in the forest area. And this weapon that I'm using right now is called a launcher, and it's basically a missile launcher that allows me to attack multiple targets here. I'm actually going to skip these guys, and I'm going to skip right over to the second area, just so that I can join up with the rest of the players that are going to be in this group. As you can see, we've already got 12 quest participants here, so we're already set to go. I just got to get over there. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a Photon art known as Rodeo Drive, which allows me to boost through, and by rolling at the end, I don't do that little spin animation that you see there, and that ultimately saves me some time instead of just running straight through. At least when I'm not hitting obstacles and such. As you can also see, my PP bar is also filling up a little more quickly than on my Hunter, and the reason for that is one of the special abilities that the Techer has. It has a faster PP regeneration than most other classes when you put points into it. This is all stuff that I'll cover down the line, but I kind of wanted to introduce you all to my main character here today. That little thing that you see floating over my shoulder is known as a mag, and it produces basically stat gains. Oh hey, we've got a boss here. This guy is known as a rock bear, and he is the boss of the forest area, basically, which you'll see pretty soon once we get to the forest exploration mission. As I was saying, the mags basically provide a permanent stat addition to you as long as you have it equipped. You'll also notice that I'm playing this character more in third-person style, rather than using the other way of fighting, which is just kind of using things from a far distance, which is like this here. What I'm using right now is now one of the rifles. It's the weapon that we sold in the last episode, and what the Photon art I'm using right now allows me to lock onto specific parts of its body, but if I go point-blank range with it, it'll actually hit where the bullets come out. And since I'm trying to hit its face, I'm trying to lock onto as many targets as possible here, and then hit its face so that I get maximum damage out of it. Okay, the quest that we just, or rather the client order that we just completed, is given by a character by the name of Hans. I don't think we've met him yet. I think we're gonna meet him in the next episode with the main character. let's see. The round pebbles that I'm collecting are part of another client order that I'm working on. Okay, it looks like we got another boss somewhere to the east here.
Completed.
That being if he didn't already go down, which he might have. Oh well. Oh, here's another rock bear, and it looks like, yes, behind him we have a rog belt, which is a rare variant of this boss. And that's a client order that I just completed here. That from time to time we see client orders. Let me take that back. There is a person on board the Ark ship that will actually have you hunt down these rare monsters. The boss that we're now looking at is called a Dark Ragna, and it is a darker through and through. If you ever watched the introduction to Phantasy Star Online 2, this guy should look very familiar to you guys. The way you take it down is you take out its legs. As you can see us taking it out here, they continue to shrink, and then eventually it falls to the ground like this, and it's just stunned for a while. The client order I just completed is one to kill the Dark Ragna. So as you can see, participating in these rare missions can provide you with a lot of experience. I'm sorry I'm talking so quickly right now, but there's always just so much that goes on in these that it's kind of hard to keep up with it. Alright, what I'm using now is a Photon art called Glorious Rain, which basically is an AoE on top of where I launch it off. Okay, and here's another emergency trial. This is, from time to time, darkers will affect the weather and cause these visibles to come crashing down, and you basically need to avoid them. And so, with an emergency trial like this, the hits are combined amongst all the players in the current game. Looks like we got another one starting up here, which is going to be to defeat some Cyclone Hells. Or actually, no, that might be the one that might be the one we need to defeat to stop the Visibolt. The Visibolt usually doesn't stay active long enough, though, for it to actually make a difference. Alright, what I just used there was the technique Anti that allows me to cure poison and such. And I'm also going to cast Resta now, which is going to allow me to heal myself.
Completed.
Generally, with these missions, you want to try to stay with the group if possible, just so that if something happens in terms of an emergency trial, you're not going to miss out on it. Sort of like we did with at the start there. Looks like we got a lot of Meseta drop in here. I'm not really going to be picking up too many of the discs here because I think I've pretty much already got all the discs maxed here. We finally found a moment to kind of calm down here and catch up. So, I've switched back to my launcher here. I'm using the rodeo drive again. And basically, usually what happens is you just kind of look around for where the bosses are. Okay, that character is Io. They are a new character, and this is a boss known as the Fang Banshee. It only appears in the forest, and it does not have a specific stage that you can encounter it on, except for these emergency missions. Or rather, except for the emergency quests, as well as an occasional random spawn that can happen in missions. And we're going to start seeing those pretty frequently, starting with the Dagon quest, which we'll be encountering with the next episode.
Completed.
Okay, you see that glowy thing right there that's on the Rappy? That indicates that the Rappy has boosted stats, and usually when a Rappy or any enemy has boosted stats, that usually means it's harder to kill, but it also has a higher chance of dropping something rare. It usually also gives out more experience as well. Okay, looks like we got some more rock belts here. Or rock bears, rather. And that is Fourier. That is another character that we're going to run into eventually. In fact, pretty much anybody that you see on the Ark ship, we could potentially run into them at some point. Whether it be through the story or as a random emergency trial like this. Okay, so these weapons are known as twin mech guns, and what's unique about them is even though they're a weapon designed for gunner, which is another class similar to ranger, I'm actually able to use it as a ranger because this particular weapon is designed to be used by all classes. It's similar to the giant lollipop I have here. As well as this partisan weapon. The giant lollipop, of course, being another way of casting techniques. Okay, we got another ship coming through. Oh boy, looks like we had a pilot failure here. So with this particular emergency trial, what we need to do is we just need to kind of hang around while he makes some repairs. And as you can see, he usually calls out where the enemies are coming from once you kill a pack. It's usually instant between when you kill one pack and the next pack appears. So these are a pretty good way of getting experience. As you can see, I'm jumping a lot whenever I use my launcher. That's because I find it's actually easier to aim the thing rather than just sort of firing from the ground. I know this isn't a good example since I'm standing on top of the crashed ship right now, but I'll show you what that's like at the next encounter. Or actually, I could just show you right now by going on the ground. So as you can see, I'm on the ground here. It's a little harder for me to gauge where the reticle actually needs to be able to hit the target.
Completed.
Okay, I just completed a client order for Rookie Defender. That is just simply a client order that says to defend one of those crash ships. So, as you might imagine, that actually happens quite often in this game. It's become kind of a joke amongst the players as to how often it happens. So that thing you see saying PSE in the corner, that is something that may come into play here. What it is basically it's a meter saying you've reached a certain level of photon sensitivity in the area, and if you're able to bring it up to a level of 8, you'll get a chance at causing a PSE burst. And when a PSE burst happens, basically the enemy will get flooded by enemies, and we kind of have to take them down at that point. But once again, we'll have boosted drops and such like that happening when that happens. Right now we're just kind of looking around for the next boss. Just completed the Pack Beasts client order. Okay, this little guy over here. This is not your standard Rappy. This, well, it's called a Rappy, but it is not a nab Rappy, as we saw in the last episode. This is a rare Rappy spawn. And that also has its own client order, as you can see. Usually it'll drop a high level of Meseta as well as grinders, and we'll get into that at a later time, what grinders do. Alright, these guys, these Dagushes, those are Darkers. Okay, and here are some Udans again. Once again, these most of the enemies go down very quickly in these missions, so it's really a great way of gaining experience, as well as clearing up some Photon orders. Or, not Photon orders, client orders. So that Photon art that I just used, as you saw, it allows me to fire while backing up. Usually I'll use it in situations where it's getting a little dicey and I need to back away while still trying to slow down the enemy. Been a little bit since we found a boss, so hopefully we'll see them in the next stop up that's coming up. Okay, here's a rock belt again. Actually, 2 of them. Alright, and that character is a support character. We're not really at the point where I can really talk about them yet, since I'm going to do a whole feature on them in an upcoming episode. So just know that occasionally you can run into them in the field as well. Let's see. And that was actually a pretty good spawn there with the Rog Belts. You usually don't see more than one at a time. Alright, here's some more Dagashas and Dagashas. really want to take down the big guys as quickly as possible, because what they do is they interrupt your attacks if they hit you. And while they'll only be able to hit you once, if you get like 3 or 4 of them on you at the same time, it's really hard to recover from that. There's a chance that you could just get taken out by that, even at full health. Alright, so it looks like time is almost up here. There we go. But the good thing is the quest is still active. So usually you can get at least 2 runs in. Okay, so I think I'll be able to participate in this. Even though time is up, usually what that means... Actually, no, I won't be able to, because there is a boss at the end of this area, so unfortunately, I miss out on that. And given the timing, I think everybody else did too. So I'll have to talk about those crystals another time. Let's go ahead and restart. And once again, we're just going to rush to the end of this block and get into the second block, which is where everybody else will be. Alright, Gel Wolves. I think we have a moment to talk about these guys. So these are basically energy pods that will try to attack you. And if they hit you, they do a lot of damage, and it counts against you in terms of the emergency mission. It's this thing that's trying to fly after me. And as long as you don't get hit by them, you will clear the emergency trial. Here we go. Almost to the next block. Here we go. And that player just called out B2. And that corresponds to the coordinates on the map that you can see directly above where the timer is. It's basically saying some sort of emergency trial has happened at that location. And so I'm going to rush there as quickly as I can. Here we have some rocks that are in the way, but just using a rodeo drive gets me past them. Looks like we got another Dark Ragna here. He's taking me down pretty quickly here, so let me heal up. I also want to heal up Retta, since he's the one that kind of initiated the trial here. Although I think we're after the point where he's actually going to become a liability here. As I was dizzy there, you noticed that I was kind of spinning around there. What I do is I kind of hit all the directional buttons at the same time, and then that allows me to kind of undizzy myself. So once again, I'm using as many lock-ons as I can. Oh, it already went down. Okay, and let's see what we got. Just some Aceta and a disc. Okay. And we also got that, that leg, Calvaria fin. Alright, we got a drop coming in. Alright, so I just called out A2 for this trial. Once again, these are the rare Rappies, so we want to try to capture as many as possible. And that's right, I said capture. Let me show you what I'm talking about. These guys are trying to run away, but when you defeat one, those rings come around it, and they teleport up. That one's probably gonna get away. Yep. And the one that was right next to me as well. Oh well. It happens from time to time that that you fail a mission, but usually it doesn't count towards the overall rank at the end if you do fail. Alright, so that guy is saying a rare Wolg just came up. That is known as a Longhada. And let's see. Should be somewhere over here. This crab-like guy is Krabada, of course. These are all guys that we'll see later down the road. There he is. This guy will jump around pretty quickly if you're not careful, so we gotta watch where he's going. I don't think we have much rage on him though. Oh, there we go. He already went down, and that was another client order. Pretty much any rare enemy in the game is going to have a client order to take one down. And I'm calling out D2 since this guy just appeared. Another Fang Banshee. This guy, you usually want to try to hit him in the head, since that's where his weak spot is. In fact, you can usually say that about most of the enemies in the game that have a head that's distinguishable. Alright, so time has run out to start up a new quest for this emergency mission. Usually these will last for about half an hour, and then time runs out. There's some other ones that can pop up, and we'll talk about those at a later time.
Emergency. Code. Distraction.
Code destruction. Okay, this is a base, and we gotta take this out immediately. What happens is if this thing grows all the way, it's going to release a toxin into the air, and it's basically going to cause poison throughout the whole area. And what just hit me? Alright, so that was taken out pretty quickly. That circle that you see occasionally, that is something called a weak bullet. Let me demonstrate that for you now, guys, what that looks like. This thing right there. So that basically puts a weak point onto an enemy if it normally doesn't have one. It basically allows you to do more damage to them. You can get more of those by putting additional skill points into it. I leave mine set at 3 skill points so that I can get a second bullet out of it. Okay, another Rog Belt. As you can see there, I had many targets pointed on him. I hit him point blank there, and that did 15,000. Here's another ton of them. So once again, even though he may be rare and harder to kill, he still goes down pretty quickly in a party this large. Let's get over to the next area here. And let's see what's over here. So we've got more Darkers here. Alright, as you can see, my mag was just glowing there. And that means I'll be able to use a Photon art, or rather a Photon Blast. Oh hey, Rodeo Drive 15, I still needed that. So let me show you that here now. So, I didn't show this to you last time, but this is basically what the screen looks like when you're using a disc. It'll give you a level, it'll give you a number of power, it'll tell you what the cost in PP is, and sometimes it'll have something extra there as well. As of right now, level 15 is the highest that you can have. And that's the same for both Photon Arts and Techniques. Okay, we got a boss in the northeast, it looks like. That's what that little diamond symbol is. That you can see on the mini-map. So we want to get over there as quickly as possible. Okay, looks like that's a Bantha Donna, which is a rare version of the Fang Banshee. And a second emergency trial just started up. They're looking for something on the ground.
Emergency code collect.
Okay, there's one over there. That guy just grabbed it, but basically it looks like an insect.
Completed.
Looks like this just, looks like this area was already cleared out. It's saying there's one here in B2. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it. And it looks like we just had a boss appear to the south, so let's head that direction. Usually, collection orders like this will get ignored. Alright, looks like I didn't get in time for the experience, but I did get in time for, to at least collect, the items that it dropped. Alright, doesn't look like anything's spawning down here. So we're gonna head north again. Like I said, usually those will get ignored in in emergency trials,
Fail.
because usually people will be going after bosses instead. Alright, as you can see, some people are starting to leave the area there to the north. That's because they are going to try to take on the boss of the area, which is the Fang Banthers. Okay, and that is what a Photon Blast looks like. It's basically a big creature that comes out of the mag and basically attacks the enemies, or will sometimes do something helpful for you, like quickly restore your photon points. since there's only about a minute left, I'm going to go ahead and pop mine now. This is another variant of the Photon Blast. Okay, sounds like there was a Dark Ragna that just popped up somewhere. That Photon Blast, as you might have seen, will fire bullets similar to what I do, and that I'm going to get more into mags at a later time. Not sure where the Dark Ragna is, though, so I might not get there before time is up. I'm still gonna try, though. Alright, and so that's it. That is basically what it's like to go through an emergency mission like that. If another one pops up where I can actually complete it, I'll make sure to show that to you guys. But let's see. Looking at our client orders, as you can see, we put a check mark on a ton of them here. And so what I can do now is I can go ahead and turn these in and collect all the experience that they gave me. Now, as you can see, my checker subclass is not at level 60 yet, and level 60 is the maximum level right now. So what I can do from here is I can head back into the lobby. And I can head over to the class counter and basically switch them around so that my main class is the Techer, while the Ranger is the subclass. And I can then change the subclass of Ranger to Force. Because what happens is the majority of the experience that you'll get from the client orders goes into the main class, but also when you turn in, 10% of that will also go to your subclass as well. And the subclass will work up until level 40. So since my force is only level 38 right now, this will help it out. Let's go ahead and turn in the Rookie Defender here to Cressida. Once again, all the Japanese text there is just flavor text. And here's Franca. They were looking for some Rock Bear parts. And then let's head over here to Girard. And this was the guy that was looking for the rare spawns. So there's the Rappy. There's the Rod Belt. And the Alongkada. So once again, my experience was sort of over here when we started, and now it's all the way over here in terms of getting my Force class up to level 43. Was there anything else? Alright, Garanko Molars, I'm actually going to hang on to that one since I can maxed out to level 9, or to 99 of them rather. but Black Slaughter 6 I can turn in. And that goes to Revel over here. And that was the Dark Ragna client order. And so once you get up into the higher levels, if you're not working on the story, this is usually how you're going to gain most of your experience, by completing these client orders. Plus completing emergency quests, like the one that we just went on. Next time we're going to head back into the story character, and we're going to take on the Dagon quest, and we'll take it from there. So remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I'm Prince Brightstar. Thank you for joining me here today. Have a wonderful day.